Here's all the wood that my dad helped me cut. Well, he cut it. I just helped sand it. I didn't do it much at all. And we're gonna be making my little rack right here. So I'll be able to fit 3 20-gallon longs instead of 2. So that should be nice. Pineapple socks are in the video. Hello and welcome back to Creative Pet Keep. Oh my gosh, Banana is so cute, so innocent and pure. But this is my first ever homemade, custom-made aquarium rack for my closet. I used to have a wire rack previously, and while it could handle the 220-gallon longs, it's not the sturdiest thing, and I really wanted to utilize my space a lot better. As you can see, now I can have 3 tanks here. So down here we have my 2 Shelly tanks. I thought it would be kind of cool to sort of keep them together. And at the top is the glare party. And, you know, that tank is kind of a tank in progress anyways. This used to be where I used to have my Apistogramma Cockatooties double reds in here. But I recently sold them at the rare fish auction so I could rotate more species. So here are all the fish that I am bringing to the rare fish auction. Most of these are actually just thinning out the groups that I've been growing out so they're not as overcrowded in my own tanks. So we have some Lamprologus tigrapictillus, we got some Placidochromis from the location Jalo. We have some Apistogramma Cockatooties double red, and we have 1 pair of Betta Mahachiensis, which are completely colored down. They're not very happy, but I gave them a little moss. So, you know, they could hide and feel a little better, because I have not sold any of the Mahachiensis since I got them, so it's about time. But here they are, bagged. Not too happy, but we're about to take them to the auction, and hopefully they're going to find great homes. So all I have in here is 2 spawning bristlenose plecos who currently are raising their little babies, and there's nothing else happening here. Probably going to become another Apistogramma or something breeding tank in the future. And then of course up here is where I'm keeping the Betta Mahachai that I'm growing out in their temporary grow out setup. This is not a long-term setup, and I am not a fan of this being a long-term setup. I usually prefer to keep them in the 1-gallon containers, but I'm actually bleaching those right now and cleaning them, so they're in their little beanies today, but tomorrow they're going to go back into the 1-gallon. Let's see. Oh, I should clarify the little baby Betta from earlier this year's spawn. She's kind of hanging out in here. Probably going to put her in a tank. It's about time. She's been in her little grow out. But other than that, this is my rack. I'm pretty excited about how it turned out. My dad helped me out, and I know that this design is not the best. It's our first time trying to build a rack. We're beginners, which is why this video is kind of like a, ooh, cool, look at all the stuff we did instead of an actual tutorial. We watched 3 different types of videos. We watched King of DIY's rack building tutorials. We watched Greg's Fish Rooms, because he has a cool like 3D model he was showing off. And then, what was the third one? Oh, Primetime Aquatics. Jason also has some awesome DIY aquarium stands. So we kind of watched all 3. And then we sort of came up with this. Looking back at it, this sort of doesn't make sense because there's a lot of wasted space right here. Like right now I'm storing some of that, you know, background for tanks. I just kind of put it here. I decided I could actually store some of my water conditioners and maybe extra food in the back here. So I'll try to utilize this space. I want to put a little 4-gallon in this corner as well. So we will utilize it. There's a lot of things that can be improved upon. I know that for sure. But I think, you know, for our first time building, you know, our very own rack, I think my dad did an amazing job. And I'm very happy. I think it looks really cool. I definitely like being able to see my shellies better because shell dwellers are one of my favorite species, turns out. Over time, they really grew on me. And the divided betta tank is in a different location. I'm in the process of redoing that one, so you'll be seeing that one soon. But, you know, since I like to rotate tanks, I definitely rotate the inhabitants in this tank. I believe for now these 2 are going to be permanent setups because I am really attached to the Maltese as well as the Lamprologus ocellatus gold. So these are Neolamprologus multifasciatus, and then, you know, I already told you what these guys are. These guys are super aggressive. They will bite you if you put your hand in there. Super territorial. We have 1 male here. Then we have another male and then 2 females, one of which you may remember that we named Bob. Do you see the little dorsal? That's kind of unique. That's Bob, that we ended up renaming Bobette. And you'll kind of see some funny videos of previous setups. So if you kind of want to see these fish and see how their tanks changed over the years that I've had these guys, then definitely check out my previous videos. We do have 2 babies that I was able to rescue because these guys will kind of eat their babies. I know that some people are successful with breeding these guys and having them raise or fry in their tank, but it's not the case for me. So I've got 2 babies right here. I've had some other spawns already that I grew out and kind of was spreading around my local fish club, the Greater Chicago Cichlid Association, which is actually going to have a pretty cool video coming up on that. But hopefully I'm going to be breeding these guys some more. I really want to spread them around the hobby. They're my favorite fish. They're super aggressive, but the thing that I really like about them, I don't know if this is like the girly girl in me, but I love the little purple pinkish iridescent that's on their tummy. You can't really see it now. You can really see it in the morning when the light from the window kind of shines in this direction and this light, aquarium light, isn't on. Oh man, then you really see the pink and purple, and I kind of really like it. They think I'm gonna feed them. They're like begging. They're like, please feed. Oh my gosh, the glare. Down here are the Maltese, as many of you guys kind of refer to them as. I threw some duckweed in here. I mean, not duckweed, what am I saying? Oh my gosh, duckweed is like in my brain. This is guppy grass. I like it. It's just kind of floating around, growing, it's doing its thing. It's sort of like an easy plant. These guys don't need a plant, but I sort of like to put plants if I can. Anything that is in here, they will kind of dig out, so that's the only plant that will survive in here because it just kind of floats around and they could push it out of the way if they want to, because as you can see, they've been sort of digging out these mounds. I also have random pleco. These guys, on the other hand, do have some plants in here. I had to actually put them under rocks, so because these guys, they dig differently. So these guys kind of excavate large scale and kind of like, see, they're making a big mountain in between 2 of their territories. But in the case of these guys, because this is one male here and the other male here, this guy has his territory right here. This guy has his territory right here. I put some, this is actually petrified wood, which is really cool, but I put that in the middle. That's sort of their little divider, and it helps block the line of sight a little bit, so it helps them distinguish their territories. I also try to put the shells more in a cluster here with some space in the middle, more in a cluster here. And then these guys dig differently. They actually like to cover their shells, so all these shells were uncovered when I put them in here, and they will actually bury them. So their digging style is definitely different, and their utilization of shells is different than the Maltese, which is very interesting to see. At the very top, we have this very simple tank with a lot of glare. I'll film this at night in the future. I am going to add a lot of botanicals. I'm going to add a little bit of sand in here. This is going to be a pretty cool black water tank, hopefully. And then we've got Happy Daddy right here with his babies. Mama's hiding somewhere. She was munching on her cucumber. But that's kind of it. That is sort of the update on what's going on. Expect these two tanks to sort of remain the same. This one should be changing over time. And that is so far what I've been working on. I hope that you enjoy this little video. Let me know what you think of this little rack. I think it's kind of nice. I mean, it has some flaws, but you know, for the fact that it's our first time building something like this, and you know, for the fact that my dad did his very best trying to work with my horrible measurements, I'm very happy.